Hello everyone, Jeff here. This week I did a bit of work on the Lantros building tile set, which you can see me working on in the background throughout this video. It's been a very busy week, so we'll talk about the building tile set, but also give a bit of an update on the project as well. So to create the tile set, I'm working in the original Antilia mesh editor, which it has some bugs and some limitations I've been running into, but overall I'm really quite pleased. It's been working pretty handily. I haven't had any crashes or anything like that, and I'm getting to the result that I want with more ease than I thought I would. I started out with just some basic flat geometry to establish which way the faces of the mesh need to be facing, how they need to be oriented, and where they need to be positioned. It's been a while since I worked on one of these building tile sets. In fact, I've only created one in the past. So the reasoning behind why some of these design decisions were made have kind of been lost to time. I'm not sure why the orientations are the way they are. So I had to kind of rediscover what they are and work from there. So today I only got as far as getting some of the basic walls and corners working. I've also been making improvements to the canvas editor throughout the week, just on features that I know we're going to need. The canvas editor still doesn't have the fill style features that I really need to create a sort of stacked stone texture that I want on these meshes. So for now, I've got just some temporary textures kind of thrown onto the meshes. It doesn't look good, I realize that. I'm hoping that in a future pass or a future video, we can work on the textures when the canvas tool is a little further along and create some really nice textures for these building tiles. Now, I've also decided that we're going to change the way doors and windows are implemented in the building system. Previously, it was implemented in a way that required a special kind of cutout geometry. Like if we had a wall, we had to have a variation of the wall tile that had a cutout for the window or door shape you needed. And I really don't want to put that burden on the artist to have to create multiple versions of every wall style. And in the future, I'd like to add a concept of wall trim styles. And I hope we can see that probably in the next few weeks here. And I don't want to have a cutout for every wall trim style as well. It starts to become just too much of a burden on the artist. So I'm going to be looking at a different way of doing that. I think there's a pretty good way to do it using shaders and some sort of texture mask to create the cutouts. And then just using a bit of trim, I think we can cover the gaps between the geometry and have a really nice, natural looking solution. As we keep moving forward with the project, I really want to show off what the trim feature can do. It's kind of, I've taken it in a direction that maybe this is the way the tapee design their buildings. It's a little different from the way we do our buildings, but I think it's going to have a really cool effect, and it'll also be really handy when it comes time to use the same building system for places like ruins and ghost towns and other kind of places in the world that are not tapee buildings. So this week, the development team also had a bit of a meeting, and we had a really nice discussion about how we develop and how we design styles and furnishings and objects for Antilia in a way that they match across the scene and they look like they were consistently designed by the tapee. Included in that discussion was a bit of brainstorming on how we use colors in Antilia to create strong atmosphere, to create scenes that aren't just a mix mash of colors, but actually have a warm feeling or a cool feeling, making more deliberate choices in how we use colors in Antilia. And to facilitate that, I've added a color palette system to the canvas tool. So it's important to have a system like this in place to ensure that no matter who's creating a texture, the colors we use on objects are consistent all the time. And in the background in the video here, you no doubt see the color palette is off to the right hand side. There's the colors window. It now has a palettes tab. In that tab you can edit palettes, you can create new palettes, you can go in and name individual colors. I'm really happy with the way the system turned out. It's really fun to use, and it's really well integrated into the other tools. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll tune in again next week. See you then. A special thanks goes to this month's Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support the project, you can do so by visiting www.patreon.com/Antilia.